Just wanted to give a quick content warning for this episode. This is for teen and adults. There is some foul language that happens, lots of blood, few drug references, and lots of clone death and violent office supplies. So if that's not what you're into, now's your warning. Hello and welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us for a taste of RPGs, where we test play an RPG to give you a little taste of the diversity of games out there and maybe help find you something that you will want to play. My name is Marissa, and with me, as always, are Christopher and Audrey. Hi. And today we have Tyler as our special guest player returning. And today we are going to play the Werewolves of Wallstreet. This is a self-contained capitalist punk RPG setting based on the Troika rule set. So it's like a 40-page zine, and it's written by a creator called Watt as part of the Troika Fest 2021. So it's mostly just a setting with some characters in it. And so I'll just give you a small intro to the setting, and then we'll introduce our characters and get into it. So the year is 1980X. President Richard Radon rules from a glass tube, both dead and not yet dead, monolithic and unseen, sealed away in a bunker somewhere beneath Wall Street. They say freedom isn't free, but the price of entry sure as hell has risen. The economy has become judge, jury, and executioner. The invisible hand has driven stockbrokers into occult bloodletting, turned newscasts into job-seeking prayer circles, and made weddings pyramid schemes. Don't think you're exempt. You've been trapped too. Prison of no escape by means of no comparison. You've lost the words of critique. The systems are all you know, but at least you've still got a pulse. Maybe you can make it out. Out of what? Out of the room, out of the building, out of New York, off the planet? Not likely, but maybe you can find meaning in your last days on this twisted ass hell world. Good luck. I believe in you. Oh, and remember to sign the papers. Your job will be repatriated when you die.
When you die.
That is our world. Does someone want to introduce who they are?
Sure, I will go first. Thanks for having me back on, by the way. It was a blast last time.
We love it.
I am playing a cloney clone. That's what the game calls it. They're a clone. His name is Marvin Clone Johnson. Okay, so in the beginning, the CEO created a business plan, but the business was formless and empty. It had no product. The CEO said, "Let there be product," and the product was developed. The CEO saw that the product was good, and he separated it from the waste. Then the CEO surveyed his system and said, "Let the business bring forth every clone after my kind." Then there were a shit ton of CEO clones produced every day, but not all were made equal. You are a clone who was hydro-sorted into the waste vats, slid toward the incinerator. You flopped out before the fire, though. Hallelujah. Now you can be a clone somewhere else on someone else's dime. So that's me, and I work at this company as what did I say? Like an assistant fraud and non-compliance noticer. So it's gonna happen. I notice it, but you can't really do anything about that stuff anyways. So, and then I'm considered defective, and the way that I am defective is that I say the word clone accidentally and quite often. So I'm sure that'll never come up.
My character is Katrina Tuttle. She's a televisionist anarchist. The little blurb about that is, you were sent to an American gulag and forced to watch cable television 23 hours each day. A cruel and unusual punishment brought about cruel and unusual televisionistic abilities. Televisionetic. Fine. That happened. And now I can commune with TVs or something. Katrina is a mood enforcement and compliance officer. So I'm just here to make sure we're all having a good time and maintaining a certain standard of feeling amongst everyone in the company. And that's Katrina. She's from HR too, obviously. So
Okay, I am Bernard Pulpy Brewster, and you'll see why Pulpy in a minute. I'm an ex-wrestler, and I work at the bank in internal audits, making sure that all the money is exactly where it's supposed to be. I'm a worldwide radon revisionist. That's my role in the game. I'm an alarming combination of meat muscle and metal weaponry with a podcast on politics. I found my first lucrative sponsorship in the cyber war. I found my ill-informed political opinions in the blood arena. My goal is to turn Richard Radon into a cyborg so that his used cybernetic enhancements trickle down and fix my broken body. I also have a refurbished laser eye. And Pulpy Brewster is my ring name when I was a wrestler. I run a mid-level marketing spirulina business on the side, and I dress not very well. It's 80s classic Don Johnson Miami Vice pastel jackets, but they're kind of ill-fitting because of my big bulky body that has started to turn into fat. So so that is Bernard Pulpy Brewster.
That's so amazing.
Oh, that's really good.
All right. So you all work for the offices of Wolf Bank. Climate change has long since flooded the surface, so most employees enter either through a pneumatic tube system. Interns and entry-level employees are forced to sleep in employee dorms down in the basement. And upper management, they bring their flying cars right up to their windows and then park on the roof. There are some raised sidewalks in the city, but they are closed because there have been a rash of muskrat attacks. Swampy waters. So it's a Monday morning, you all arrive to work and you head to your cubicles on the 16th floor. You all work on the same floor. And the stock market opens at 9:30. So you all gather in the conference room to witness the ritual blood sacrifice, which is happening in hundreds of conference rooms across the city. Every Monday before the market opens, a poorly performing intern is sacrificed and their heart is removed. So you're walking back to your cubicles after the blood sacrifice, and Karen from HR, she sees you guys walking and she pulls you all aside. She's got kind of a big beehive hairdo. She's maybe got a light blinking in her hair somewhere. She's extremely perky, got a big old smile that's maybe a little unnatural. She's got bright pink lipstick, and she says, "Gosh, what a great blood ritual! Really gushed out today, huh? It's really great. Anyways, I know it's Monday morning, but Mr. Johnson wants to see you in his office, okay?" And Mr. Johnson is your boss.
Well, that's not good. I never liked chatting with the boss, but
Well,
you know.
Well, I
But
see someone wearing a negativity hat.
But you know, my hands are clean. I keep the books really tight and clean, and so I don't have anything to worry about.
Well, great. Then go on in. I assume you all go to Mr.
Yeah.
Johnson's office.
Yeah.
Okay. So his office is a corner office. It's very new money chic. There's plush, dark green carpets. Everything's very glass, steel, super ugly, like corporate art that is worth more than your lives. But he does have a really nice, real mahogany desk carved from ornate, beautiful mahogany, back from when mahogany trees weren't extinct. And so behind the desk, you see Todd Johnson, who is the chief manager of accounts and acquisitions. And perched behind him on like the ledge of a bookcase is Garrett Williams, who's the assistant general manager of accounts and acquisitions. And then sitting kind of on the edge of the desk is William Roberts, who's the assistant deputy general manager of accounts and acquisitions. And they're all kind of giggling to each other and kind of like smarmy, not very expensive suits. Which, and I guess I should mention that in this world, werewolves are kind of an open secret, and you suspect that they are all werewolves.
Okay.
Werewolves they exemplify the cost of an unchallenged status, and they sit at the top because the wolves keep the complicated economic machine in working order. So you assume that they're all wolves. Anyway, as a side note. So Todd, who's the one at the desk, it's his office, Mr. Johnson. He says, I've called you all here because we have a problem. There is an auditor from the Federal Consumer and Investor Agency here trying to audit us. And Garrett Williams, who's like behind him, he's like, yeah, fuck these guys. They're terrible. This goddamn thing. We paid our bribes on time. This is bullshit. All this job killing regulation. This is bullshit. And then William Roberts, who's like on the desk in front, he's like, he doesn't even have a real tip. This is fake. I don't even know how this asshole got in here. This is a bunch of bullshit. And you see Todd's kind of like trying to like soothe them. He's like, yes. So this auditor's here and we need your help. And I think that you three can take care of him for us.
What do you mean by take care of?
Oh, I want you to kill him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
If that wasn't clear, I need you to murder him.
Oh.
Marvin is like standing there, and he is also wearing a suit because that's what the CEO wore. But since he's like, I think the clones are maybe like slightly smaller than the CEO they were cloned off of. So the suit's very baggy on him. It's also not like a nice suit. So it's very baggy and ridiculous. And Marvin's very nervous about the situation. So he has something on him, which is cloning gel that I think he has to eat. So it's like a Go-Gurt pack, I think, is what I'm picturing. So he's just like nervously kind of like sucking on this pack of cloning gel. It's like, guys.
It needs spirulina.
It's too expensive. I can't buy it in bulk like you're selling it to me, though.
Yeah.
You got me a discount. Maybe I could use some of that.
We'll talk about getting you a dealership after we take care of this auditor.
I was gonna say, I think we might have to clone this guy. I mean, kill this guy.
Yeah, I certainly hope that you don't clone him, says Mr. Johnson. So you know that he's from the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, which is part of the Federal Consumer and Investigator Agency, which is a watchdog group that's part of the National Banker Protection Authority. And usually they look into like tax records, bribery records, payroll records, clone records, and they get tips from oracles about shadiness that might be going on. And they're usually paid quite large bribes. And so Mr. Roberts is kind of muttering, he's like, yeah, he didn't even get a real tip. And we paid him his bribes. He's fucking dead. I fucking hate this guy.
So do I. I hate these people coming in here nosing around into our business. We run a tight, clean ship, and these kind of people really piss me off.
It probably is bad for morale, and there's only one way to handle morale problems.
And then Mr. Roberts said, yeah, I'm glad you see it our way, because this is government overreach. It's dangerous precedent for how we run our business. So we need him gone by the end of the day. Glad you're on board. He's downstairs working on the 14th floor. And he shouldn't expect you coming because you're both in compliance, you're in HR. You know, I'm sure you could just go on up to him and murder him, whoever you want. We don't really care. We just want him gone.
And we'll do it with a smile on our faces.
That's what I like to
Right?
hear.
My coworkers down the
Yes.
hall in real life probably wonder what I am talking about. Well, that was awesome.
That was so good.
Yeah.
We haven't played anything that had such a specific setting yet,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I was like, when I was planning this, I was kicking myself because I literally picked just a setting. I was like, let's run a game in this setting because the setting's cool. And then I was like, but what do I do? So I had to make up a ton of stuff, which was fun, but also nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I also can't wait to play actual Troika. I ordered it, but it hasn't come yet.
Mm,
It's an interesting system, but without like the full rule book, which there are like free basic rules online, which is how I got most of the rules, but I don't know. I like to have a thing in my hand.
yeah. Yeah. Same.
Yeah, it was like a kind of goofy version of, Matrix meets
Yeah.
Mhm.
Office Space.
Futurama.
Yeah. Yeah. Futurama and Office Space.
Yeah, and right.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
you gotta keep your straight Futurama.
Yeah. Straight. Yeah.
Uh,
It was such a good touch.
hmm
Oh my
yeah,
God.
it's a lot.
Feeling little bits from everywhere.
Yeah. That was good.
hmm
Impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the system, I in general like rules light things where we can just like, it doesn't even matter if you really roll or not.
Yeah.
Just because you can keep the story going. For me, I wish there was maybe a little more clarity in terms of like what some of the rules actually mean and how to run it. But it kind of also like doesn't even matter because I still think everything like went fine
hmm
regardless.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also fun because it really asks a lot from the players too. It's like, you've got to go into this other world that is we're not familiar with, like we could probably be a, dwarven cleric at the drop of a hat, but this is like so new. Also, you did such a great job just setting the scene. It felt like watching a movie at times,
Mhm.
Even with, I could imagine it's like, oh, this is a part in the movie that's funny, not integral to the plot, but like here's a light touch right here,
Yeah.
Yeah, in the introduction, they say like, remember, you're not making high art here. You're experimenting with a new Choco Taco flavored Hot Pocket. And I think that's just a delightful sentiment for the book. It's just giving permission to like be silly. And you guys just like all jumped into it immediately, which was so delightful. Because like the character descriptions are pretty amazing, but they're also like, somewhat sparse. And just to see like some banter that you guys had going was just really, really fun. So thanks for playing with me.
Yeah. Thanks for running that game.
What are we playing next?
Christopher.
We are getting around to Fiasco next for sure.
Finally.
Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
it's about
Can't
time.
Can't wait. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us. See you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Take care.